Right, we are starting back up after about 9 hours of play for the expansion of the Vrinn Imperium, a despotic hegemony of space dwarves who are mechanists, authoritarian, and fanatic materialists. They are also efficient and Byzantine bureaucrats, mostly chosen in the interest of trying to expand our population across as many worlds as we can and have the administrative capacity to capture as many of the neighboring regions as we can as well. Right now we're at 76 pops across 4 worlds. We recently discovered terraforming, so we're starting to terraform a few of the uninhabitable worlds nearby. That population is made up of 31% robots and 67% Vrinn. We also have a unspent trait point for our robots. We're going to wait until we get a second one, I believe, in order to choose a better trait than have to add a negative one. Right now, our robots are modded to be durable, to reduce their upkeep, and mass-produced to increase their assembly speed. We're doing fairly well on science production so far at this point in the game. We're at 241. We have a small expeditionary fleet that we have been recently adding cruisers and destroyers to increase its might, and have a smaller second army out on Hyzar because we recently discovered a neighboring bordered empire made up of machine intelligence who are currently suspicious of us. So we are going to be in a position to try to defend ourselves from them. We also have the Holy Vrinn Covenant. They are a spiritual theocratic dictatorship to our south, who we have maintained friendly relations with thus far. We're attempting to capture some of our bordering regions with them, both to their northwest. We also have established contact with the Zelvon Corporate Holdings, a small megacorp situation or civilization that's on the galaxy rim. It's a large galaxy. We've also discovered through our contacts a number of additional contacts. Our nearest other neighbors are fallen empires, at least the ones that we're aware of. And we have some mercenaries as well as a few other empires and a few more fallen empires on the other side of the galaxy. We also received somewhat hostile diplomatic contact from the Bolivia Authority, who look like a race of fungus of some type, and who could cause us problems, but at least from what we know of their system, they don't have very much power. And we've been in contact with the Mesh Ben tribes and made some cordial relations with them so far. Our goal right now is to try to secure as much of the territory around us as we can without allowing easy access to our home systems. We've been following a few event chains and are also trying to strengthen both our technology and our military. So we are going to move forward and unpause now 9 hours in. They also recently established a galactic community of which we are a part and have a fair amount of sway within. And off we go. Thank you, Jackie. Alright, let's see. We have a few construction ships that are autocracy. Let's just see who's considered more powerful than us. The Holy Vrinn Covenant and the Tycan Trading Consortium, as well as that new autocracy of Clombaston. And those are some creepy looking folks. don't know if we had previously known where they were in the galaxy. Alright. We also have our systems, Vrinn Prime, a supercontinent, which is nearly fully built out in terms of building slots at the moment. We're building a city district to gain access to the last available slot. We have 4 clerk positions available. Otherwise, we may also start migrating folks off the planet to help support our smaller colonies. We have a Wadriax 1 with a current population of 20. They've been having historic problems with stability, which perhaps is a result of the hostile fauna. It's been difficult to actually gauge. It seems to be more the rulers from what we've seen in terms of overall happiness who are unhappy with us. And then if we look at the individual rulers, it could be the fact that they're xenophiles and they don't believe us to be because we spied on our neighbors. I think that may well be it. What we probably need to do is come up with a decent replacement a robot to swap in for them. We have some building going on at our other colonies. We're upgrading research complexes at 2 of them and upgrading alloy megaforges to up our production at the 3rd. We are building a colony ship. Or did we finish our colony ship? Or did we never set it off? We're only 149 days out. We may not have had the alloys at the time. We're going to start a colony ship in Trevipe so that we can occupy the potentially habitable world that we are currently terraforming 150 days out. And we have a 400-day out one here. We'll build up the alloys and probably start a second colony ship when we have the opportunity. We've got to bump to our farmers in order to try to stabilize our economy and be all in the green. I think looking at the list of options here, that habitability is probably the best buff. Our terraforming options are bringing them up to 75 or 85 depending on the planet debuffs, and we're going to try to expand it from there. So the proposal in front of the Galactic Council is the Readied Shield. The universe is a dangerous place, and all the members of the galactic community should be ready to defend their worlds, whether it be against pirate space creatures or the unknown. Which would up our naval capacity by 10, our diplomatic weight from fleet power by 20, I think we are going to support the resolution. Take a look at our espionage. We still don't have much know-how on them. We're going to start gathering information to increase our infiltration level. Our energy credits are taking a hit. I think that's because we have at least a few unpopulated technician jobs. And our population should solve that. We'll have to see if we get it to. We have detected what appears to be a naturally occurring subspace phenomenon on the edge of the Biharam system. A rift in the very fabric of space-time has formed here, creating a wormhole that our scientists speculate may provide a conduit through subspace to another wormhole located somewhere else in our galaxy. Depending upon where the second wormhole is located, this could potentially allow ships to travel from one end of the galaxy to the other in a matter of days. Unfortunately, this wormhole, like the vast majority of its kind, is inherently unstable. Any vessels foolish enough to pass through it would be ripped apart in seconds. So we don't have the influence to capture colonies. We have a couple of construction ships waiting on the opportunity to expand. Otherwise, we are mostly surveying to open up the opportunity. The Corol Cortere, a bandit kingdom, has closed our borders. Where are they located? I'm going to close our borders in return. We're also going to declare a rivalry with them. I don't seem to be aligned with anybody. We need to ruin our relations more.
Technology secured.
We now have combat roles, which all of our ships are set on auto upgrades. So we are going to also run upgrades across our fleets if we have the necessary alloys. I'm going to take a buff on accuracy as well. We can take a look at our 3 ships. We have Picket, Interceptors, and Missile Vets. Basic builds that are set to auto upgrade. We did the same with destroyers and cruisers, and we let the upgrades flow across them. We've been gradually upgrading both the defenses and the offenses, as well as the power systems. And they have added combat computers automatically of the appropriate types. So the Stellaris databank has been alerted to our presence. It seems we lack sufficient intelligence on the local area, and our operatives have earned the attention of local hunter-seeker drones. Operation Gather Information is not truly jeopardized yet, but Spy Master Yura Napodon requires speedy assistance. A diplomatic solution happens in 4 days. Spymaster Yura Napodon and her colleagues have been smoothed over our operatives' awkward intrusion into the Stellaris databank. It is possible that in private, the Stellaris databank sees our excuses for the pack of lies that they are. As far as outward appearances are concerned, however, we are considered to be in the clear. Excellent. So we will shortly have the influence to acquire an additional colony. I'm leaning towards Gaul to get the alloys and a small bump to research and minerals. Have a science ship there.
Star system
Investigating
charted.
a research option. So we are looking tepid. We are looking to establish this fallen empire and what systems we might expand to create a border with them.
Special project complete.
So we have completed terraforming Tivili Cat 4, and it's been turned into a Savannah world. We also completed that research project. Our scientists have returned from the X-Van labs unscathed with footage collected from the facility's security cameras. It shows lab scientists bound and gagged as guerrilla soldiers pry open their weapon-strong box. But to their dismay, the box is empty. Only minutes later, the rebels can be seen writhing on the floor in intense agony, dark patches swelling across their body, then their skin rips and a gray, unidentifiable matter spills out. The matter continues to expand, swirling hypnotically around them until one of the scientists activates the emergency system. Sprinklers douse the room in liquid, and an electrical surge passes through it to execute all living things. Here the footage ends. Our crew can confirm that the strongbox was indeed empty. And we gain the research option superfluid materials and a 30% bump on its progress. So now our internal research scientist is complete. She has an archaeological expedition buff of 25%, so we're going to send her to Wadriax to evaluate the archaeological site there. So our new potentially habitable Savannah world is a rich mining, industrial, and city district world, but in particular it gives a 2 mineral buff to every miner, has no undesirable features, and we're going to populate that as soon as Etravipe finishes the colony ship, which I could have sworn I had kicked off. Our next ship will be done terraforming, or our next planet that will be done terraforming is this Dune world. We're going to prep another colony ship in Withrilly to occupy that space. We have a few updates. So there is a proposal before the Galactic Council to form the Galactic Market. A de facto galactic trade unbound by international diplomacy has existed since the first two interspecial stellar species met. As galactic leaders, we should agree that it's time to legitimize this commercial forum so that all may benefit. Support. The Tikiani are a unique form of space-forming life, and they must be protected from those who would do them harm. We don't have anything against the Tikiani. We should establish protocols that permit the scientists of the galactic community to share and review discoveries more easily. Upping the diplomatic weight from technology would be good due to our production, and we'll take a 10% bump on research station output. Pan-galactic recycling initiatives. We all benefit from reducing waste and reusing what we can. Sharing recycling protocols between the nations of the galactic community will help us all. We are going to oppose recycling, because recycling is a scam. Alright, we finished our city district on Vrinn, opened up a remaining building slot. I think that it may be useful here to establish exotic gas refineries. But I don't recall if we have any colonies with a buff to exotic gases in particular. I do not see one. This Ministry of Production, we have quite a bit of volatile moat output. Updating our metallurgist output and our artisan output, and adding an administrative job. Fairly high upkeep, but we should solve our energy issues shortly. We'll go with the Ministry of Production. We'll build the exotic gas refineries somewhere else. We also have a third world undergoing terraforming. And we're going to start a colony ship in Vrinn to populate that society, or that world. Saturday morning, words are escaping me.
Construction complete.
Creepy ass autocracy of Clombastian, a military dictatorship whose authoritarian and fanatic militarist want to establish an embassy with us. We are currently neutral. We have been xenophilic so far. We will continue to be so. Our construction ships have finished in Scod. We're going to move you down. I think that's a fair trip. We're going to move you down to Lyceria in order to occupy there. Influence should be nearly enough. Another 7. And about now that we're building colony ships, we also need to wait on the alloys. I think it would be useful to also take a look. We have some decent technology production in our colonies. It would be useful, I believe, to get science ships assisting them, like we have at Vrinn Prime.
Technology secured.
Right. Bump to Corvette hull points. Don't have any defense platform yet, but a buff to them may be useful going forward. I think I'd like potentially some hull regeneration in case we get into any hostilities and don't want to retreat for repairs. Don't have access to any Betharian stone. I like the idea of getting strike craft since they're already a third of the way there. It should be a short turn for that technology. Let's have a look at Wadriax. Large energy deficiency here. Even though we have an energy nexus, it's because we're not working it. Same issue on Witherly Prime. I will go ahead and purchase some some free, well, not free, but I'll purchase some alloys by clearing that feature. So, options for expansion. I think because we're challenged right now in terms of our star bases, the upkeep is 3 energy. It's likely 12. These are probably 2. So it's another 6, 18. We can reduce our upkeep by 20%, which would be some. We are about to colonize though, so starting with an extra pop would be a bonus. We're also going to go ahead and sell 5,000 minerals to remove the concern of our declining energy. Right. We have run into a fleet of the Yastoon Remnant. I'm not sure that they want us to colonize Inaria. We finished surveying Biharam. We're going to investigate the anomaly there. Now have enough influence and alloys to start occupying Gaul. Also arrived in Anab, which is another system that we want to do likewise for. Take a look at our upgrade cost as 165 alloy. I think I want to opt for spreading. I have a second station in Wadriax. We're gonna start building some science ships to support the research on both of those colony planets. Vrinn's main mining company reports the finding of a major new vein of high-quality ore. This will surely boost production. We get a 10-year bump with 20% increase in minerals.
Anomaly found.
On the Dwakan system, we're going to ignore anomalies until we're done surveying the systems. Take a look at our recruitable scientists. I think here we mainly just are concerned about young so that they stick around a while. They'll earn a couple levels of experience
Communications.
by helping research.
Anomaly found.
I don't know that there's allowed to be other space dwarves. Alright, so the Asuka League, a totalitarian regime of erudite explorers who are authoritarian like us and fanatic materialists like us, want to establish they have a funny little heart-shaped symbol. They want to establish a system, or an embassy in our system. They're all the way at the outer ringe, but look to be rather substantially spread out. We'll go ahead and do that. So we need more influence to expand there. Same with that. Another Biharam discovery. A discarded cargo pod was left by someone in the upper atmosphere of Biharam 2 long ago. It somehow managed to escape the notice of other spacefarers, and its decaying orbit means it would have been lost in the gas giant's crushing atmosphere within another few years. When the crew of the ISS Unplar unsealed the pod, they found a stash of alien jewelry made out of precious metals. We got a 500 energy influence bump. Influence bump. We have an archaeological site. So we've done exploration in the majority of the interior here. I'm going to dispatch this ship to survey Turbrook.
Technology secured. Construction complete.
We have just researched auxiliary fire control. I think we're going to go with plasma throwers and see how they mix into our military fit-outs. We finished surveying Lisak, and we're going to go down and check out this dead end. It would be nice to be able to expand our territory out to control Sige, which will essentially be a choke point to everything in here for now. We secured basic strife craft. Oh, let's take a look at our ship designs real quick. We could already go with crystal infused plating across the board.
Star system charted.
Right now we're primarily laser focused with some picket ships mixed in. I think what we'd like to do here is to potentially bring some coil guns to the party. Or rail guns.
Anomaly found.
Leave that be for now. We're in Dwakan. We're going to go down and survey. We're heading towards the borders here to try to give ourselves the opportunity to expand and control along the border with the Vrinn Covenant.
Star system charted.
Alright, so we have some colony ships. We have a colony ship and a trippy. We're going to head towards the system that we have newly terraformed in Tavikliat. And I don't believe we're done with our other colony ship production, though we are almost there. We will occupy Arrakis, which is a nice food-producing world that we have also finished terraforming. We also finished surveying Unaria.
Tactical retreat.
Our science ship has arrived in Jamor, which has a potentially habitable tomb world. And we have made first contact with mysterious aliens in the Jamor system. For now, we have codenamed them Wa aliens, until we can find out more about them. If they possess a language, we must decipher it in order to establish communications. They look to be the amoeba. At least we didn't support the diplomatic opinion to protect the amoeba. Let's see. There's a buzzword standardization. We have enabled our enterprises to work seamlessly with one another. Streamlining strategic communication empowers our agents, making hitting key performance metrics easier. From personal experience, I despise corporate buzzwords and all things KPI related. Regulatory facilitation. We should leave regulatory decisions to the experts. Industry leaders are the best qualified to identify wasteful regulations that impede productivity. We're not going to take a hit on habitability. Thanks, Bandit Kingdom. Alright. Don't have influence to capture another colony.
Technology secured.
So our local star empires have declared rivalries on each other.
Construction complete.
Perhaps we will be able to benefit from their mutual aggression. Alright, so we have construction ships moving around to most of the available interior planets. We're going to send one to Biharam in order to capture wormhole there. We received our 5% habitability buff. I think we are going to go for the system capital complex. And gain a civic slot. That is Rufus, if you can hear him in the background. Rufus is a big, full-blooded, 85, maybe 90-pound, big rough and tumble bulldog. We finished occupying Gaul. We're going to build research and mining stations. Oh, and that is his brother, Duke. I think they are expressing their dissatisfaction with being ignored. So we're going to move our colony ships to our newly terraformed systems. This one's going to be done in 20 days. We can enter orbit around it, and we'll be there by the time it's ready. We probably have the minerals to 5,000. We could likely sell the minerals necessary to start terraforming on these, but with a 50 a month loss, we're going to hold on that. The bulldogs are invading the stream room, so unpredictable results may occur. Everything is in motion. We did build a science ship, and we had that scientist available. Our next best research is happening on Wadriax 1. And we want to go ahead and grab that science ship. Wadriax 1. And assist research there. Should give us a small bump. We're leaving anomalies be for now. Another proposal for the galactic community: comfort the fallen. The lowest among us is still one of us, and we should come together to assist them in their time of need. Unemployed workers have their unhappiness penalty reduced by 10%. We're going to oppose that because our tech is fairly higher than we know of for our neighbors, and we want that to have diplomatic weight. It's the second largest component of our current diplomatic weight. That is Duke. He is probably trying to understand who I am talking to.
Anomaly found.
So we are going to go ahead and upgrade both of our fleets. Now, I'm going to check on that rivalry nearby.
Vessels upgraded.
We are currently friendly. We have commercial pact. But we will not get pulled into a war should it happen. The Pessimist Corporation has a non-aggression pact with the Bellet Trading Concern. See if this peace will last. A group of auxiliary operatives in the Techaris databank has begun shying away from their assigned tasks, citing a lack of confidence in their overall purpose. Spymaster Yira Napodon would typically handle such matters without bringing them to our attention, but even without them knowing any details, these operatives seem unusually well informed about Operation Gather Information, and perhaps the spy network as a whole. Given that these auxiliaries are kept isolated from our more active and better informed agents, Yira Narpodin suspects the operatives are being fed information from an outside source. She also concedes that they may simply be highly perceptive individuals. Given these doubts and the threats posed to Operation Gather Information by each scenario, Spymaster Yira Narpodin requests a directive on how to proceed. We can spend 600... credits, or a 83% chance of giving us panicked operatives, or we can lose them for 12 months. We're going to take that roll. Colonies Corporation and the Velet Trading Consortium. Our operators are now panicked. Our auxiliary operatives in the Techris databank have reacted with horror, learning the truth of their once intangible suspicions. Spymaster Yaren Apodan revealed only a glimpse of the bigger picture to them, but it was sufficient to disrupt our supply lines. Our ability to subvert Techarian encryption is reduced for a time. We will deal. Would like to buff our star bases on the borders.
Progress.
Alright. Colonization has started. We have our colony ships moving into position. So now, Water Reacts 1, we're getting a 10% research buff. We're going to go ahead and build another science ship. An emergency transmission buoy floats in a gentle orbit around Lisak B2. Its outer casing is heavily damaged, seemingly by glancing weapons fire or a powerful explosion. It might be a Vrinn model for civilian ships designed to be ejected as an emergency measure should all the comm systems fail, but the extent of the damage makes it impossible to know for certain. It's a repeating, weak, and distorted signal. I'm going to clean up the transmission. The Velet Trading Consortium and the Pessimist Corporation. I'm going to research that project. They're in commercial packs. The fleet is now up to 4.9k, which seems fairly decent. We have a leftover event in the from Charchorian Precursors, where we have a 10,000 power precursor fleet in a very rich and available system nearby that we will want to clear when we get ourselves correspondingly powerful. We should have nearly enough influence to acquire another system, which will be Assyria. Another month.
Anomaly found. Special project complete.
So we researched that signal, and the buoy has been verified as one of Vrinn make, and the signal it's relaying has been stabilized. We open comms. Vrinn authorities, identify yourselves. Hello, this is the captain of Luxion of Vrinn Civilian Transport. Former captain. The Luxion is gone. We were boarded by pirates and taken captive before they blew up the ship. Who captured you? I think they call themselves the Ransomeers. The Ransomeers? At any rate, they are a vile bunch. We'll all be dead already if they didn't think they could get something for us from the Vrinn Imperium. I've overheard them discussing their demands. We'll rescue you. Oh, thank you, Overlord. We are being held in some space station, but I have no idea where we are beyond that. I will increase the transmission burst now. It should let you triangulate the location of this prison from the emergency buoy. Position recorded in the situation log. Take a look. Gonna go ahead and track that on the map. Wow, they're really far out. I'll try to get there, folks. I'm gonna go back and research some anomalies to help make some expansion decisions.
Technology secured.
The Senate floor is now in session. The galactic community is now voting on a new resolution to decide if it will become galactic law. There's one that we don't have. Use of the galactic market to trade in sentient organics is abominable. We should ban this practice. No resolutions have been made as of yet. We are voting on forming the galactic market, and everyone is on board. Incoming transmission from the Magar Freebooters. They are this society of mercenaries. Vrinn weaklings, our warriors are on their way to plunder your systems. Face them in battle if you can muster the courage, or cower in fear until they've had their fill of your riches. You can, of course, offer tribute now to spare yourselves from the oncoming onslaught. If it is sufficient, our warriors may be compelled to turn back. You can get away with it for 2,500 minerals. For my past games, we're not ready to fight mercenaries as of yet. We have now researched plasma throwers. We have a wormhole within our borders. We're gonna learn how to travel through it. We have a lot of idle construction ships. Being that we don't have the influence or the alloys, I think we are going to have it here in Syria. We are receiving a transmission from the independent space station of the Artisan Troop. They appear to have successfully translated our language. The Artisan Troop, a visitor. This is a joyous occasion indeed. Oh, forgive my manners, I believe introductions are in order. We are an artisan troop. Our members have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of art, music, culture, and all other things which makes existence bearable to a sapient being. Please, if you would like to share in the wonder of our creations, do not hesitate to contact us. Interesting. So, we should have now another science ship, for which we are going to recruit another young scientist. And we are going to assist research on Wadriax Prime.
Colonization in progress.
We've started colonization.
Technology secured.
On a second terraformed planet. And we just got our third level of coil gun. I'm gonna add third level antimatter missiles and take a look at our ship designers. We are still fairly heavily reliant upon lasers. Gonna bring in a I call this a plasma destroyer. We're going to call this one a plasma cruiser. We'll just take a look Corvette-wise. I don't think we need that one. We already had one pretty similar. Military action by an unknown force destroyed the ransomware pilots. Miraculously, the Vrinn captives managed to break out and steal a lifeboat during the attack and are now well on their way back to Vrinn. Yeah, it was fortunate. He wasn't planning on making the trip anytime soon. So we now have research assistance on our 2 colonies in Wadriax, with really Prime does not and has fair production. We're going to go ahead and add a science ship there as well.
Colonization in progress.
We are colonizing the last of our terraform worlds, while continuing to make sure we have discoveries on all of the systems in our internal area. So we have received a communique from some space cabbage named the Pellissimus Corporation. They are peaceful traders and a megacorp. They are also, I believe, in positive relations with the other trader system that we have allied with to a degree. Or go ahead and let them create an embassy. It's going to be a while before we have the influence built back up. We're almost done in Lyceria. Run through our colonies. We have jobs and housing across the board. So in Lyceria, we're going to get our research stations and mining stations going. Factional sedition. A wave of dissatisfaction at the way the Empire is being governed has spread across the population, with clandestine calls for a more xenophilic outlook. We believe that a hardcore group of activists affiliated with the Xeno Freedom Organization are behind this agitation and are plotting to seek to break away from the Vrinn Imperium, but the Xeno Freedom Organization denies these accusations. Which, I mean, we are being fairly xenophilic.
Star system charted.
The Velet Trading Consortium have gone into a research group for a proposal with the Polysimus Corporation. A micro-singularity recently intersected Turbrick 3C, passing straight through the core and emerging on the other side of the moon. The encounter does not seem to have caused any permanent damage, but it has altered the energy output of the planetary core slightly in a way that defies our current scientific models. Further study may be warranted. That's a buff of research there. So we have surveyed the majority of the systems within our border. For some reason, there's no route to get to that system. It seems to have fallen off the lane. We could move this research vessel out to Pidge, or alternatively, we could move them to start excavating some of the sites that we have recently brought into our borders. So we finished in Saya. And there is no one protecting this system, although we would have to jump over Inaria. We're going to continue to survey across the border of this fallen empire. And we're going to survey our way towards the borders of the Holy Vrinn Covenant. At the first archaeological site that we are excavating, we have found a military mass extinction. Thick layers of ash and a notable mass extinction event in the geological record coincide with material previously extracted from the Grunar data crystals, suggesting the Grunar firebombed Woodreax 4A with a gelling incendiary roughly 7 million years ago. Widespread deforestation of the planet's surface disrupted the local ecosystems, and the lack of oxygen-fixing vegetation gradually depleted the planet's atmosphere for the next 60,000 years. Fortunate. The Holy Vrinn Covenant has stated that a group of our pilgrims was denied access to their holy places on Wadriax Prime by your governor. He has denied them access for no known reason. This is outrageous, and you can be sure that if you don't allow them passage, this behavior towards our noble people will not be forgotten. I'll let my governor weigh in first. Being that this is the one entry point to our main system, we may want to consider some defensive platforms. So the governor seems to be relieved that you took the time to speak with him first before making a rash decision. He informs you about hints of an imminent terrorist attack planned by covert operatives of the Holy Vrinn Covenant. He says they have tried to find supporters for their plan, but unfortunately for us, contacted the wrong person. They tried to bring a loyal officer of the security personnel into their plan, and the officer was able to play a charade until he was able to contact the governor. Unfortunately, they were unable to find out how many of our men are involved into this conspiracy, which is why he stayed quiet about his reasons until now. We can change the security staff and set a trap. Don't take a risk, just deny them access. Let's set a trap and try to find out if there are other malcontents to uncover. So we have a science ship. We're going to go ahead and grab the youngest scientist. And we are going to send them to Withrilly to assist research. We We should probably cover that hallucinogen removal once we land our next engineering tech. Vrinn Prime. I think I would like to add some plasma destroyers to our fleet. Someone must have warned them, as no attack has been attempted. These pilgrims just visited their holy places and left without making any problems. Or maybe that the governor is just too paranoid for his own good. Seems to have been a satisfactory conclusion to that potential rough spot. I think it would be useful to capture these systems, particularly Tarumba, the archaeological site, and a habitable ocean world that we can terraform. Our crew aboard the ISS Bonplar report that on Asuka B2 shipwreck appears to have been the result of the unexpected geomagnetic solar storm. The supply ship suffered a complete loss of life support systems and sustained inoperable damage, drifting until it entered Asuka B2's gravity well. There are no survivors. The ship's cargo hold indeed contains a notable amount of minerals. However, the captain of the ISS Bonplar cautions that the construction indicates Takaran design. It is highly likely that these minerals belong to the Takaris databank, and they may be displeased should we lay claim to their shipment. We don't really need an extra 300 minerals. In fact, we just topped out our minerals, so we're going to sell 5,000. And then we're going to take a look at our expansion planner. So we do have a planet, Theglon 2, or actually 3. That is the one. It is just has massive mining potential. It still costs us 5,000 energy to start terraforming, which we're gonna wait a short bit on acquiring.
Technology secured.
We've now unlocked antimatter missiles. I'm going to take a quick tech that should be afterburners, but we're also going to do the research on removing the hallucinogens from Withriel Prime. See what results of that. The Tekaris data bank. Vrinn, we have received word of our down supply ship's cargo. We would like to extend our gratitude to you for taking the time to recover it without the need for Tekaran intervention. We gain 100 influence, 1 favor, and 20 positive relations. With that influence, we should have enough to make our next step of expansion. And rather than in the dead end areas, I still want to try to capture Sige, which would mean building an outpost in Baranik first to defray some of the costs. While it's common for molten planets to have many exit points for magma from the liquid outer core to the reach of the surface, OSSEC B2A seems to have taken this to the next level. Almost 40% of the planet's surface is exposed outer core, which has resulted in vast seas that provoked the study. Probes can easily be launched to explore the center of the planet, shedding new light on the planetary geology that would require costly mining efforts on any other world. This makes OSSEC B2A perfect for research efforts. I'm going to go ahead and run upgrades on our missile ships there. We now should see a fair amount of power. We mostly want out of our current colonies is growth. Do we have any blockers that we can continue to clear? That may be useful. Take a small bump to gaseous by removing the gaseous flora. We don't have the options here.
Vessels upgraded.
Adding a bit more power to that centrally located fleet so we can try to take on this
Construction complete.
precursor event fleet. Build mining stations. While conducting surface scans of OSEC 1A, Science Officer Tashna Satur and the crew of the ISS Bonplar discovered what appears to be an artificially carved slab of rock covered in alien writing. They may not have detected any other signs of alien activity on the moon, and exactly how this mural came to be here is a mystery. We have prepared a special project to translate the text.
Situation log updated.
It should be the end of the research, so we'll take on that project. Alright. So we're moving along on our occupation of the new colonies. We have science ships assisting research at all of our existing colonies. And we are developing all of our internal home system resources that we can get to. We have the influence to capture another internal system. I'm going to go ahead and take a knob for the exotic gases that it has.
Special project complete.
So we have removed the atmospheric hallucinogen modifier. And our stability has gone up quite a bit. I would figure the hallucinogens may have made them happy prior, but apparently not. Alright, we are about an hour 20 in. I am going to cut it off here for the moment. Take care of a few things and probably come back and stream a bit later in the day. This is the 5th episode of the Vrinn Imperium, and we got about another hour 15. That makes it about 10 total. And we just grabbed Wormhoach Travel. Since most of our ships are laser-based, we're going to go for X-ray lasers. And we're going to just call it a day. Probably come back later this evening and continue onward. We are looking to form up as much area as possible for our empire before there's a lack of room to expand further. We've discovered a fair bit. And the Space Dwarf Empire is continuing to grow. That said, signing off. Hope you enjoy. Have a good day.